Well, the entire world really is processing what Donald Trump's victory will mean abroad. Both supporters and critics of the president-elect have said that his return to power will fundamentally change America's place in world affairs and security matters as well, especially as the wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East drag on. For more on the latter, then, Karim-Emile BITAR joins us on the program now. He is a senior research fellow at the Institute for International and Strategic Relations. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted, of course, that Trump's win is, I quote, history's greatest comeback. Do you think that this victory is as big as a win for Benjamin Netanyahu as he himself is framing it?
It's definitely a major win for Benjamin Netanyahu, for Vladimir Putin, and for most Middle Eastern autocrats. It was quite ironic to see every single Arab despot congratulating Trump. They feel that he's a member of their club, that he's an authoritarian nationalist, a strong man, and that they can do business with him.
So with that in mind, do you think that Trump and his team are likely to push for ceasefires or temporary peace deals in order to demonstrate their capacity to halt war and to, as you suggest there, prioritize business over anything else?
Well, there is a paradox. Trump is definitely hawkish. He's definitely not reluctant to use force. But Trump is not a neoconservative. He's not someone who would want to wage wars in order to promote democracy abroad or to promote American values or human rights. So he is likely to intensify pressure on Iran to show who is the boss, but he is also a transactional leader who might be capable of striking deals. His main problem with Obama's nuclear deal is that it carried Obama's name. If he can reach an agreement along the same lines that he could peddle as his own contribution to world peace, he would definitely do it.
One of the big takeaways, sir, I think from the election, at least from a domestic perspective in the United States, is that Arab Americans, especially in the suburbs outside of Detroit, came out in surprising numbers in support of Donald Trump, again, in the belief that Joe Biden and then Kamala Harris were overly supportive of Israel. They see them as partly responsible then for what we've seen in Gaza and Lebanon. I'd like to know, do you think that Biden and Kamala Harris are significantly different than Donald Trump in their approaches to Israel? Is it reasonable, in your view, to think that a Trump administration could do better or is more likely to bring peace than Joe Biden or Kamala Harris would have been?
I'm rather skeptical, to be honest. Most Arab Americans voted for Trump because they felt that the situation could not get any worse. But there are reasons to believe that it could get worse. Donald Trump's unhinged and unconditional support for Israel could incite Mr. Netanyahu to proclaim Israeli sovereignty over the entire West Bank and East Jerusalem. Donald Trump accepted a $100 million donation from Miriam Adelson so that he would definitely bury the very idea of a Palestinian state. And Trump could be enticed also by some of his advisors to wage war against Iran, even though other segments of his MAGA following are reluctant to engage in regime change. So it will all depend on who is capable of caressing Trump's narcissism and pulling the triggers, because he's not a policy expert, he's not a Middle East expert. It will all depend on who might be able to flatter him and lead him to conduct either hawkish policies or transactional policies.
In that sense, sir, what do you make of the legacy of the Abraham Accords, then, that were, of course, signed under Donald Trump's first administration?
Well, what happened in the past 12 months showed that it was built on false premises, because it was a piece from the top, the idea that Gulf rulers could strike a deal with Netanyahu based on economic projects while completely ignoring the Palestinian question. And we have seen since October 7 the centrality, the persistence, the universality of the Palestinian question. For Arab public opinion, from Morocco to the Gulf, it remains a fundamental human rights and freedom issue, so it will be impossible to push it under the rug, even if there are economic benefits for certain Gulf countries.
Karim-Emile BITAR of the Institute for International and Strategic Relations, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.